What's up, everybody? I'm Sly, the movie guy, and here's why I rank all 23 MCU films with the release of Spider-Man Far From Home. I did a movie review and a Spider-Man film rank video on the channel, so you can check it out. I'll put the links down below in the description box. And by the end of this video, let me know where you rank all your 23 MCU films from your worst to the best, because we all have different opinions when it comes to the MCU films. Nobody's not going to have the same list, so there's no right or wrong. You might enjoy that film more than the other one. So, like I said, it's everybody's opinion, so no right or wrong here. And with all that being said, let's just get started. Iron Man 2. Not the worst comic book movie ever made, but one of the weakest MCU films. When I remember going in 2010, watching this film in the theaters, it wasn't quite as good as the first one. One of my issues with Iron Man is kind of like too many story elements here in this movie. If Whiplash was the villain, Justin Hammer was the villain, Whiplash has like a revenge against Iron Man and stuff like that, and Justin Hammer's controlling Iron Man suits. Then Tony Stark's kind of have like a sick thing going on with his heart area, with that little thing where he got from the first Iron Man movie. All that was just too much story elements. Then a setup like for MCU films where Captain America's shield has showed up in there, and then Thor's hammer shows up in the mid-credit scene. So there's a lot of things like in here that was just too much in Iron Man 2, where the first one was so good. So Iron Man 2 was kind of a little bit disappointing. And there's some parts to like out of Iron Man 2, and I'll get to those things. One of the things in Iron Man 2 is probably the third act is like the weakest part of the film. The third act, where Whiplash is fighting Iron Man and War Machine, and it just doesn't, and we've seen newer MCU films that have done better with battles in the third act, and this one was kind of the weakest one here, and that's not great. And watching it back in 2010, I was like, oh, really? So that was one of the parts. Let me talk about the good out of Iron Man 2. I mean, Robert Downey Jr. is great as Tony Stark / Iron Man. He's fantastic in the role. And I thought Don Cheadle was great as War Machine. I thought he did a better job than Terrence Howard. It's just my opinion. I know some people say Terrence Howard is better. And the introduction of Black Widow was fantastic. I liked it. Scarlett Johansson did a fantastic job. Jon Favreau did great as Happy Hogan. Gwyneth Paltrow does great as Pepper Potts. Samuel Jackson does great as Nick Fury. So all the performances great. And the film, there's some parts in the film to like. There's some parts that are not unwatchable. There's some watchable parts. But the second act in the film is just kind of like, I'm ready to get to going. Then finally it picks up. And then the third act, like I said, It is, like I said, it's not the worst comic movie. Just, it's fine. It's average. But it's still the weakest of the MCU. Thor: The Dark World. Now, I know a lot of people give this film a lot of crap. It's a fair argument made. This film is dull. Those are one of the things that is kind of like hard to rewatch Thor: The Dark World. Is have dull moments. And Chris Hemsworth and Natalie Portman, which I find as talented actors and actresses, their chemistry here, and when your superhero film doesn't have good chemistry, it kind of hurts your film, and their chemistry is not good in this film. And I hate to say that. Chris Hemsworth and Natalie Portman are very talented people. It just, their chemistry, it's just, it doesn't really go well on the screen. And you can really see it. And the weakest aspect in Thor: The Dark World is Malekith. He's about one of the weakest MCU villains, I mean, I've seen on screen. Like probably one of the weakest villains on a big screen and like in cinematic. It just, and when you watch Thor: The Dark World, you forget Malekith is in the film. He has some motivation here, but it's just not as interesting and stuff. It's part of the Infinity Stones, and that's one of the parts that hurts Thor: The Dark World. But I think the performance is good here, just like Iron Man 2. We have Chris Hemsworth is great as Thor. I think he really owns the role, and I'll get more in depth when I go into the other Thor films. And Tom Hiddleston is great as Loki, fantastic. I think the other performance is great. Anthony Hopkins is great as Odin and stuff. So there's some good performances, but some of the performances kind of in the film that wasn't great. And the action sequences in Thor: The Dark World, I think, are very underrated. I like action sequences here. I think the director, I've forgotten his name, he kind of does great with the action sequence here. So there's some parts to like out of Thor: The Dark World. I don't think it's the worst comic movie. It's fine. I think it's okay. But if you didn't like it, hey, you're not at fault. Everybody have different opinions, and you have an opinion. If you didn't like it, hey, I understand that. Captain Marvel. I know a lot of people's going to give me a lot of crap. Or probably not. I don't know. I know a lot of people probably had this probably in the top 10, top 15. Captain Marvel, I watched it 2 times. It's not a bad film. I think it's a B film. If you see my review, it's not a bad film. I like some of the things. Let me give out the things I do like. I like that the way the movie turned out. It was in the 90s. I love 90s action films or 90s drama films. So I love 90s films that and stuff like that. So this movie that was set in the 90s, I like that where they showed a Blockbuster and all that video store. Man, great nostalgia memories as a little kid with the Blockbuster. And then film, that's the point. But the things I like is Captain Marvel. I like Brie Larson and Samuel Jackson, where the young Samuel Jackson, they did great on the de-aging of Samuel Jackson, making him the young Nick Fury. I did like their back and forth dialogue and chemistry here. It was absolutely fantastic. I like Ben Mendelsohn as the Skrulls. The Skrulls was a great introduction in Captain Marvel. The way the film is like kind of stylized and stuff and like that, it just felt kind of dry and bland. There was nothing that stood out for me in Captain Marvel. It wasn't like the Guardians of the Galaxy or Spider-Man Homecoming or Thor Ragnarok or Black Panther had that unique style to get me in the mood of the movie. And that was just kind of disappointing. And this was kind of like, they were like going into like, as far we had like 18 and 19 MCU films, this was the 20th MCU film. So I was looking for something like spectacular and stuff, and I quite didn't get it out of Captain Marvel. There were some parts that I was like, really like, wow. But as an overall film, I just like, I wanted like to go up there because MCU have gotten better with films so far, and this one just didn't give it to me. But if you like Captain Marvel, hey, I respect your ranking wherever you have Captain Marvel ranking. I respect that. For me, just didn't do it for me, and that's pretty much it. Would I buy it on Blu-ray? Maybe. I'll buy it on Blu-ray. Would I watch it like over and over again? 2 or 3 times. I say watch it or give it a chance to watch it if you haven't seen it yet. The Incredible Hulk. I do find this movie underrated. I find it far more better than that one that came out in 2003. That was a nightmare. This one was absolutely, even though it's a nightmare with, no pun intended, even though it's a nightmare with the Hulk, and still with Bruce Banner turns to the Hulk. But this movie, I find is very underrated. This, to me, is the best Hulk movie until they make a new one. I love this movie. Edward Norton does fantastic. The casting is fantastic here. Tim Roth, Liv Tyler, and forgot the guy that played General Ross, William Hurt. Yeah, William Hurt. The cast is fantastic here. And the movie had a unique style where the Hulk trying to discover and stuff. He traveled in different places and stuff. And the army and stuff like that. All that was absolutely fantastic. And the battle of him with Abomination, the showdown with Abomination, which is my favorite Hulk villain. Oh, that was so good. And then when Abomination asked the Hulk, your final words, Hulk, smash. Oh, they did it right. I forgot who directed this movie, but man, it was fantastic. The movie was just so good on so many levels. It's very underrated. There's so many MCU films that are so great, and this is a Phase 1 MCU film, just like with Iron Man 2 was Phase 1. This one was Phase 1, so if I was to rank the Phase 1 MCU film, it would probably be a little bit higher because it was so good. But there's so many MCU films that I find better than The Incredible Hulk. But that's not nothing bad to say. I still find my time to watch The Incredible Hulk film. Please find time to watch this film. Buy this on DVD or rent it in Redbox. It's a good movie. Very underrated. The performance is great. I just say check it out. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. Fair argument. There's some people who love it, some people hate it. I find myself enjoying it. Is it the best MCU film or better than the first one? No. I still find it still a lot of fun. And I rewatched this film. And this film does have problems. I still found myself enjoying it, laughing this film. And that's great and all. I still had the fun, enjoy it, laughing with this film. But my thing is, I think it overdid the jokes. There were so many jokes thrown that was so funny. But it just, what I like about the first film, it had the adventure with the jokes. This movie has so many jokes, like overall, like comedy and stuff and all that. And then with Star-Lord finding his dad and stuff, like finding dad for the first time and stuff, that with him, Kurt Russell, that plays Star-Lord's dad, that chemistry was really good. I absolutely love that part of the film. One of the other negatives I do have with this film is Sylvester Stallone kind of is in the film and stuff with Yondu and stuff, and then now rewatch it like 3 or 4 times. Sylvester Stallone doesn't belong in the film, and that's one of the parts I think it's kind of like, now, because beginning of watching the film, I was like, oh, Sylvester Stallone, because I love Sylvester Stallone, Rocky, Rambo, but in this film, he just didn't belong here. And that's one of the parts. But man, they do hit, and I'm not going to spoil it, if you haven't seen Guardian Volume 2, there's a part in this movie that got me teared up. Man, one of the characters I like, and it just got me. And I was like, oh man. So Guardian Galaxy Volume 2 is not a bad movie. I still recommend watching it. But as the MCU put so many good films, it just ranks right here where I feel like it's ranked at the right place on my list. I've seen other MCU films just better than Guardians Volume 2. But hey, if you like it, hey, I respect you in that. For me, I think it's right where I want it, right here. Because I think other films are just better than this. Iron Man 3. This is probably one of the films that made $1 billion at the box office. But a lot of things, there's some things that piss fans off. It's a Shane Black film. As a Shane Black film, it's great. As a comic book film, I can see where comic book fans get mad. I'm a comic book fan of Iron Man, and I still find myself enjoying the film. Is it the best comic book movie? No, not in the Church of Man Day. It's not The Godfather or anything. I like Iron Man 3. It has where the action's there, and the Shane Black humor really works well in this film. I'd give Shane Black credit. It works a lot better. The humor in this movie works a lot better than the other Shane Black film that came out last year. Do I even need to say more about that film? Iron Man 3 really works. The humor works. The action is well done. Guy Pearce really works here as the main antagonist. And Robert Downey Jr. gives a great performance as Iron Man in this film. Man, Robert Downey Jr. is just born to play Iron Man. I mean, what can you say about it? I think the performance, like I said, with Iron Man 2 is really good here. I think the performance in Iron Man films are really good. It just, the way Shane Black did this film kind of made fans mad. And one of the things that does make them mad is Ben Kingsley playing a Mandarin, but he's not the real Mandarin. He was an actor guy. So that twist in the movie kind of was like, caught me off guard when I saw it. I was like, what? It was funny, but it wasn't great. It wasn't great execution. Got all that build up where you could finally say, oh, Iron Man's got the best villain in his trilogy, and kind of killed it. Shane Black kind of killed it. And I can understand that. I can understand the anger for that. I still found a way to enjoy this film. But it's not a great MCU film. But hey, if you haven't seen Iron Man 3, I kind of recommend it. But if you want people that didn't like it, I can understand. But if you haven't seen Iron Man 3, maybe give it a shot. Avengers Age of Ultron. I don't think this is a bad movie. I don't know. There's some aspects I like from Age of Ultron and some I don't like. One of the parts I do like is the team get together and the chemistry with Scarlett Johansson, Black Widow, Chris Evans, Captain America, Robert Downey Jr., Iron Man, Chris Evans, Thor. I think all of them that come back again for the sequel, they have great chemistry. A whole lot great here in this film. The character interaction's great. The action's great here. One of the down parts I didn't like was Ultron. I think James Spader does a great voice for Ultron, the villain just kind of was like a little let down. I think some of the story elements of his character was kind of rushed here. I didn't really care for like some of the jokes like that for me kind of killed me for what like thinking about the character Ultron and stuff. Some of the humor of his kind of hurt my watchability, like thinking he's a threat villain. Even though he did some menacing stuff, it just kind of like, I've seen better MCU villains do better forms than this. It's not a bad thing, just some of like, I say Age of Ultron is worth watching. If you haven't seen it yet, please give this a chance to watch. It's still a great Avenger movie. I don't think it's better than the other ones that I'm going to mention on this list, but it's not the worst comic movie. I say it's a B. I say it's a kind of like a B plus film or B movie. So give it a chance to watch if you haven't seen it yet. Ant-Man and the Wasp. Now I know a lot of people love this than the first Ant-Man movie, or some like the first Ant-Man movie than this. I think Ant-Man and the Wasp is a fun, entertaining movie. I think it's a fun movie that has the fluff there. I mean, this came out the same year with Avengers Infinity War, and you know what happened in Avengers Infinity War. So after Avengers Infinity War, this movie came out like the right time where family and friends can have fun with this film. And I think this is a fun film. I like this film. I watched it like 3 times, and I still found this movie enjoyable. Some of the parts I kind of feel like just doesn't make this film better than the first movie. But hey, it's still a fun film to watch. And I like Evangeline Lilly chemistry with Paul Rudd is so great in this film. I think it's the best couple chemistry, just like Pepper Potts and Iron Man, Robert Downey Jr., Gwyneth Paltrow chemistry is great on screen. I think their chemistry is great. Evangeline Lilly and Paul Rudd, I think it's fantastic. Michael Douglas does fantastic. Michael Pena as Louise, man, so funny this time around. I laugh consistently. Absolutely fantastic. I love this character. This movie is still fun. Not better than the first one, but hey, I still found some way to enjoy Ant-Man and the Wasp. And I say give this movie a chance to watch if you haven't seen it yet. Thor. I think this movie is underrated. Nobody don't give this credit. I love the first Thor movie. It's very underrated. Man, when Thor is just arrogant and stuff and all that, when him going to the Bifrost and all that, and then Odin telling him also how to be a king and stuff, and Thor was just not listen to his father, and Odin, one of the scenes I love, you are in vain, cruel, greedy boy, and you're an old man and a fool. I was a fool, and when Odin just stripped his power and sent him to Earth, oh, I love that scene. This movie don't get a lot of credit. This movie is underrated. It was phase 1 MCU. The first Thor movie, it's just, if this is like one of your top 10 favorite origin films, I respect you on that. I really do. This one I feel like is underrated. It has some issues with Thor. I mean, that when Thor's on Earth, some parts can be like a slow burn and stuff. Down parts, because you want to see Thor go back to his North godly power and stuff and all that. And I can understand that. That's one of my nitpicks with the film. But I think Tom Hiddleston as Loki was great and all that. Chris Hemsworth and Natalie Portman's character, not bad in the first film. It just second film, like I said with that, first film, I'll give it kind of a pass a little bit. It wasn't great, but it was kind of like, okay, they're getting to know each other. I could see that part. Like I said, this is a very underrated film. Give this film a chance to watch if you haven't seen it yet. Captain America, the First Avengers. Now, Thor was a very underrated movie. I find this very, very, very underrated. This is one of my favorite Captain America film. One of my favorites, favorite comic film origins. This is the one I felt like, if everybody liked this one, I know a lot of people give this crap. Have you seen the 1990 version? That one was terrible. I mean, straight up terrible. That one was absolutely terrible. I'm not even going to talk about that. Let me talk about this film. Chris Evans is just the Christopher Reeves of Captain America. He just on this role. And I was like I was like one of the people. I was like the person that was like seeing after did so good with the Human Torch, even though the Fantastic Four films wasn't great. He did so good with the Human Torch that when I was hearing him playing Captain America, I was like, no, I don't want to see Chris Evans play Captain America. He made me eat crow. He proved me wrong. This movie absolutely fantastic. The action great. Joe Johnston did a fantastic job with this film. Man, it was so fantastic. The origin of Captain America just felt like the pages out the comic books. I just loved it. That him getting the powers where the doctor told him, not just a soldier, but a good man. There's so good quotes in this film. I love this film. It holds a place in my heart. Very good origin. I put it like right up there with some of the other comic film origins. It was fantastic from start to finish. Hugo Weaving, I thought was very underrated as Red Skull. I like this villain. Probably very underrated villain. I don't get what people say he's like the weakest. I thought him very underrated. Just fantastic. Peggy Carter, Tommy Lee Jones, Sebastian Stan, that's the guy that played Bucky in this movie. Fantastic. All the cast members did great. The storyline was great. Captain America First Avengers. Please get this film out. If you haven't seen Captain America First Avengers, I'm saying you're missing out. I love this movie. I think the other sequel is better, but this one is fantastic from start to finish. Doctor Strange. Woo! I love this movie. Man, this movie, when I heard they were making a Doctor Strange movie, I was pumped up. Because I like the comic books. I was like, how can Marvel make this work? I'm pretty sure Marvel, since like Marvel, there was like the 16th Marvel film, I think. It was just, I knew Marvel probably was going to knock this out the park. I said, it has to be good. Marvel has not let me down with a film yet. And I say the movie blew me away, especially the special effects and all that, the buildings bending and stuff, all that. Absolutely fantastic. This movie is underrated. Benedict Cumberbatch was fantastic as Doctor Strange. And you know that it was about to be Joaquin Phoenix was going to play this role. That was weird. Can I picture that? Maybe. I don't know. I think Benedict knocked that out of the park. The one part I didn't like about Doctor Strange itself is the villain played by Mads Mikkelsen. Very great actor. His villain is not well used in this film, and that's probably the negative in this film. Part of Doctor Strange origin kind of went too quick. Maybe they could have stretched it out like the first Iron Man movie, but hey, this movie is still fantastic. Man, the special effects, I can go on and on. It was just so mind blowing, and the way they just took the origin of the comic books, it just put a smile on my face. They did a fantastic job. Scott Derrickson is a horror director, and he did a fantastic job with Doctor Strange here. I love this film. And if you haven't seen Doctor Strange yet, please go check it out. Ant-Man. Woo! I love this movie. This movie is fantastic. This one, if you thought the first that Chris Evans made me crow, this movie made me crow. I was picking on the movie. I didn't think an Ant-Man movie was going to work. If there was any kind of unknown character, character that is not Batman or Superman, you say a movie called Ant-Man is coming out, you're like, Ant-Man? I laughed. I didn't think this could work. This movie should not work. This shouldn't have worked. How did it? I left out the movie theater pleasantly surprised. I was like, I came out of the movie theater. It was night and day for me. I was like, what happened? I enjoyed every minute of it. The humor worked. The heist part in the film was fantastic. It was just everything. Paul Rudd, was a diamond in the rough. He was national treasure in this film. Michael Pena was fantastic. The comic relief. T.I. was great. Evangeline Lilly, Michael Douglas. Everything in this film worked. Ant-Man is a fantastic film. I love this film. Man, this is underrated. Hey, if this is in your top 10 favorite comic films of all time, I would not argue with you. I would not. I was be like, okay, fair enough. I would not argue with you on that. If this is in your top 10 favorite comic films of all time, I'd be like, I'll see, okay, I can see that. This is a fantastic movie from start to finish. If you haven't seen Ant-Man, what are you doing? Spider-Man Homecoming. When I heard the news that Spider-Man was going to be in the MCU, I was like, how can they do this? I was kind of a little bit feared and them doing another Spider-Man movie after the Amazing Spider-Man 2 that we're not going to talk about. I just feel like, how the MCU going to do it? But then seeing him in Captain America Civil War, I was like, okay, Tom Holland is great at Spider-Man. The jokes, he was funny, everything. I was all like, I can't wait to see a Spider-Man movie. And when I went in to see Spider-Man Homecoming, I was like, please be good, please be good. It blew me out. It blew me away. I was like, oh my God, they did great. One thing is, it was just so fresh. It was so much fresh than the Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield. We get to see Tom Holland and as Peter Parker in high school a lot more. We get to see Peter Parker in high school a whole lot with that John Hughes style that John Watts brought in as director in this film. It was so great. Ned was great as Peter Parker's friend. Zendaya is great as MJ and stuff. Flash Thompson, John Favreau, Robert Downey Jr. Everything in this film was so fantastic. Michael Keaton as the Vulture, which I already said on the previous videos and on other videos. He was just so great as Vulture. Man, Michael Keaton just knocked out the park as Vulture. He was just so intimidating, and he had a good motivation and reasons why he was evil and stuff. He had reasons for that. And you can say, okay, I can buy into that. And one shocking thing, I'm going to save it. It's a spoiler that left me shocked. That I was like, oh, I couldn't believe it. I was just, oh my God. I was just so shocked. Everything was good. It was Spider-Man Homecoming. It's a fantastic film. There's a couple issues I had with the Iron Man suit and all that, where Spider-Man suit kind of like talks to him and stuff. But hey, that's just one of my negatives. Fantastic film. I love the Spider-Man film, and that's pretty much it. I said everything about Spider-Man Homecoming on my Spider-Man film rank video, so you can check it out. This fantastic movie from start to finish. Woo! To the top 10. And Guardians of the Galaxy is in there. I know a lot of people probably like, oh, why you ain't got it in top 5? I love Guardians of the Galaxy movie. I love this movie. I tell you right now, I watched this movie probably like 40 times on DVD. It's a great, great movie. I'm just gonna say that. So ranking at number 10 is not saying it's a bad movie. It's just I find other movies better than Guardians of the Galaxy. The first Guardians of the Galaxy movie. I found other films better. But hey, it doesn't stop me from loving this film. I think the humor works, the adventure works. Great introduction to Star-Lord with the song Come and Get Your Love. When he's getting that power orb. Fantastic. I loved it. The soundtrack is fantastic. Character interaction was so funny. Drax, Rocket. Oh, when Rocket said, I need the guy's leg. And then later on when Star-Lord gives him the leg, he really didn't Rocket didn't really need it. He just said, I just wanted to see how it was, what the guy would how it feel like without his leg. Then he said in the end, where they about to fight Ronan, he said, first we need that guy's eye. And Star-Lord said, no, we do not need the guy's eye. Yes, we do. It's laughing. This movie was so funny. The characters, I care for a tree and a raccoon in this movie. I am Groot. How did I enjoy it? I feel for the character, a tree and a raccoon. How? This movie made me do that. And that's crazy, but hey, it worked. Everything in the movie worked. I care for each character. Gamora, Star-Lord, everything was great. One of the weak aspects in this film, which is a fair argument, is the villain Ronan. if that was great, this movie would be like number one on my list if Ronan was a great villain. But it kind of like dubs down a little bit because Ronan's film. But hey, Guardians of the Galaxy is a top 10 MCU film. If this is your number, if this is number one, number two on your list, hey, fair argument. It's a great movie from start to finish. Woo! I love this movie. Taika Waititi. That's all I got to say. Taika Waititi that did Hunt for the Wilder People and What We Do in the Shadows. He came in and Kevin Feige and them, hey, they picked the director. And I've been a Taika Waititi fan, so when Thor Ragnarok came and they said Taika Waititi's directing it, I was like, very interesting. But kind of gonna be, should be fun. Because Taika Waititi brought that fun and that fun vibrant to Thor Ragnarok. That the first two Thor films, which I love the first Thor film, second one, but the third one just blow the first two out of the water. The Thor Ragnarok was just so fun. It felt like a game I'll play, an arcade game, then a PS2. It felt like an arcade game to me, and I love arcade games. I love them, like Pac-Man, Donkey Kong, Mario, anything, Sonic the Hedgehog, all the stuff. It just reminded me like a video game I would play on Saturday morning, something like that. And this movie just does everything. One of my favorite actresses, Kate Blanchett, knocks it out of the park as hella. Oh, she was so fantastic. Kate Blanchett, she's just fantastic in any movie. What movie Kate Blanchett is not good in? Just casting her as hella, I was just so happy. It was just like, yes, yes, yes. It was just two thumbs up. Jeff Goldblum as the Grandmaster. I don't think we should. I love Jeff Goldblum. Was so fantastic. Very funny as the Grandmaster. Everything in this movie was so fantastic. Chris Hemsworth he showed his comedic chops in the other Thor films that fish out of water humor in the first and the second movie. Here, he gets a full-fledged out, and Chris Hemsworth, you could tell he had fun. Tessa Thompson as Valkyrie was fantastic. Everybody was just fantastic in this movie from start to finish. Characters like the Hulk, Loki, Korg, Giselle Helmda, all of them did great. Especially, let me talk about Korg. Korg is, Taika Waititi played Korg. Man, Korg was so freaking hilarious. Man, he was like, hey, I'm Korg, and this is Mink. We're on the spaceship. You want to come? Oh, man. Taika Waititi was just so funny as Korg. It was just so hilarious. The Hulk was great. Tom Hiddleston, like that, those characters did great. It's just everything about Thor Ragnarok is just so great. And maybe one of the issues I have with Thor Ragnarok, maybe the humor kind of got in the way with the dramatic stuff in there. But that's one of the little nitpicks. Overall, this film was a blast from start to finish. I had a lot of fun. The humor, everything. Like I said, it felt like an arcade game. Thor Ragnarok is worth the watch. If you haven't seen this film yet, what are you doing? Please buy this on DVD, Blu-ray, Redbox, anything. Just play this movie. It's fantastic. Wakanda Forever. I love this movie. This movie was fantastic. Ron Coogler did a fantastic job directing this movie. The director, I said it before, Fruitvale Station, Creed. Watch those two films and watch this film. This director is just so freaking phenomenal. I would love to see Ron Coogler do more other films like drama and action films. He's a fantastic director. The acting in this movie was so well done. Chadwick Boseman, Michael B. Jordan, great as Black Panther and Killmonger. Especially Michael B. Jordan as Killmonger. Fantastic villain. Long time we said Marvel just have weak villains. This one just came up and we're just like, whoa, wow. Fantastic. A villain that we can understand. That's what I like about it. This movie made us understand Killmonger's villain role here. To understand what the things that happen to him and stuff. And you can like buy into it. Chadwick Boseman's performance as Black Panther is fantastic. Oh, I love the scene when his father tells him about the stuff that he had done. Black Panther, you're wrong. All of you are wrong. It was, I love that scene. Fantastic acting. It was so good. Everybody does great. Danai Gurira, that plays on The Walking Dead, she does fantastic as Okoye. Man, she does fantastic. The fight scenes, you could tell she was invested in it. Man, you could tell. Everybody does great. Letitia Wright, skip your name wrong. She does fantastic as Black Panther's sister. Angela Bassett, everybody, Andy Serkis, Forrest Whitaker, everybody in this film gets a lot of credit. The writers, the costumes, the Jack Kirby Black Panther comic books with the colorful costumes. It looks so good on screen. It just came out the comic pages, and right there, it looked like the Jack Kirby Black Panther comic books. Oh, just loved it all. It was just so great. Black Panther is a worth film to watch. This, and I'll be completely honest, this might be one of my top 10 comic films, maybe cracked in there, one of the best comic films. I love this film, and I've been waiting to see a Black Panther movie for a long time, since it was rumored supposed to be coming out in the 90s with Wesley Snipes and stuff like that. And John Singleton directed, rest in peace, John Singleton, that passed away just this year and stuff. They were supposed to get made in the 90s, and in the early 2000s supposed to get made. But I finally get to see a Black Panther movie, finally, and it was good. It wasn't horrible, so thank God for that. It was fantastic, and me as African American, this movie was just so great. It was so good. Man. Please watch the movie. Please. Spider-Man Far From Home. I'm pretty sure y'all been waiting for this. I love Spider-Man. Spider-Man is one of my favorite superheroes of all time. I've said it countless times in my Spider-Man reviews and in my Spider-Man Far From Homes. I love this character. I'm not fan. Spider-Man Far From Home is to me it's one of the best Spider-Man films. I love this movie, and I think it's better than Spider-Man Homecoming. This movie does a lot of improvement. There's a lot of improvement. Where I say a sequel is better than the original, and Spider-Man Far From Home deserved to be in this spot. It was absolutely fantastic. Oh, I love this film. This movie. Whew. Jake Gyllenhaal is Mysterio, one of my favorite Spider-Man villains. I was just like, whoa. Marvel absolutely put a smile on my face. They did Mysterio justice. I like how Jake Gyllenhaal just knocks out of the park as Mysterio. And what I like about it is the swinging action scenes with Spider-Man. Oh, it was just jaw-dropping. There's some action scenes that was so jaw-dropping, especially in the third act. I was like, oh, I loved every minute of this movie. This movie was so good. Spider-Man Far From Home. I know a lot of people probably have this long this list. Hey, for me, this to me was just good. I'm not faking it. When I saw the movie, and I went to this movie with low expectations, so low. My expectation was low. Like scale 1 to 10 was just low. I was on the bottom of the ocean low. I seen the hits and misses with Spider-Man films. I've seen Spider-Man films at this point. I went to this film and I left out just woo! It was so good. Everybody did a phenomenal job in this film. You can check out my review. I gotta go leave it that. Spider-Man Far From Home. Please check this film out if you haven't seen it yet. Avengers Endgame. Avengers Assemble. Oh, Avengers Endgame. I know people probably have this at number 1. Y'all probably thought it was going to be at number 2 or number 3. I love Avengers Endgame. Avengers Endgame is a great, great movie. It's the Return of the Jedi type thing. Still a fantastic movie. The last hour of the movie is one of the things, if you're a comic fan or just a moviegoer, it was just a blast seeing that, experience that in the movie theater. I was so freaking out. There's moments in the last act I was just like, oh, oh, oh. I just couldn't believe it. I was just freaking out. I was like, you gotta be kidding me. Oh my God. I was like, ah. I couldn't believe it. The beginning of the movie kind of was like, okay, should I get there? But it was interesting. The way things happened, the aftermath of Infinity War, you just was like, what's going to happen? What's going to happen? Then when that last hour, it pays off. The Russo brothers just blew it out of the water. Just did it. And this movie made $1 billion in a weekend. It was just like 3 days. I was like, woo, wow. This movie was just absolutely a blast. Avengers Endgame, I'm not going to spoil it. That's why I didn't say the last hour. Just watch this movie. It is so worth watching. This movie was great. This is one of the best films of 2019. I forgot to say Far From Home. That was one of the best movies of 2019. But this one is just one of those films 2019. If you didn't enjoy it, I don't know what to say to you. It's everyone's big, but man, if you just did enjoy Avengers Endgame, what? Why? It was so good. And I'm just going to leave it at that. Watch Avengers Endgame. I think it's still in theaters. Good chance to watch it, please. I wish I had my gauntlet doing that. But the gauntlet can't do it, so I have to. Avengers Infinity War. If the Russo brothers proved themselves that they could do 11 characters in Civil War, 41 characters in Infinity War, woo! I didn't see it cut. I was just so big. I was like, if anybody can do 41 characters, the Russo brothers could probably pull it off. 11 characters, Civil War, Captain America, Civil War, Infinity War, 41. I was like, okay, let's see how they do it. And this movie was just so great. This one was just so great. I felt like this movie was absolutely fantastic from start to finish. Everything. Thanos. Josh Brolin playing Thanos. He did a fantastic job. And you just felt fear. It was not like one minute you like everybody's safe. You just felt fear when Thanos just appeared on screen. Every screen on Thanos, and I just was on the edge of my seat. No, I was not safe at all. Everything was great. The character interaction with the Guardian Galaxy with some of the Avengers were great. All the comedic timings were fantastic. Everything in this movie was absolutely a blast. I know some people have Endgame over this film, but Infinity War to me was a better paced film than Endgame. And I gotta see Endgame a couple times. I've seen Infinity War probably like 20 times. So Endgame I might have to see more time and it might change. But right now, Infinity War is just a fantastic film. And I'm gonna leave it at that. The movie been out for a while, but if some of y'all haven't seen it, I'm gonna respect y'all. Get a chance to see it. And then Endgame. This movie was so great from start to finish. Thanos was just a great villain. And I'm just gonna leave it as that. Captain America Civil War. To me, this is still in the top 5. I have yet, at recent MCU films that came out, like Captain America Civil War and then recent MCU films, I've yet to see anything top Captain America's Civil War. I've yet to see it. The Russo brothers action scenes, jaw-dropping, the airport scene, introducing Spider-Man and Black Panther. Introducing Black Panther. Oh, when they introduced Black Panther, and I seen the trailers of Black Panther, I was like, oh my God, Black Panther's gonna be in the film. Oh, the introduction of Black Panther was so fantastic. And then the different sides between Iron Man and Captain America was absolutely fantastic. You could tell Chris Evans and Robert Downey Jr., they were just so fantastic. The conflicts that they had where the heroes should be in check and stuff, all that was absolutely fantastic. All that was good in the film. I loved it. It was so good. this was a fantastic movie. Like I said, the action scenes, everything in Civil War, there was just like to show the Russo brothers how good of the directors they are, and this was just a great film. If this is top, this deserves to be like the top 10 comic films of all time. If if you don't think so, then I don't know what to tell you. This one is absolutely fantastic. I love comic book origin films, and I think if sequels that are good, you don't get comic sequels if the origin comic films are not great. And Iron Man 2008 was a great comic origin film, but this was the film that started the MCU. So let's think about this. If this didn't work, we don't get the MCU films. We don't get the MCU film if it wasn't for this movie. This movie, Jon Favreau directing it, starring Robert Downey Jr. Robert Downey Jr. was having drug problems. Jon Favreau casted a guy that everybody was so against. Everybody was like, why you dressed Robert Downey Jr. Iron Man? Everybody was flacking, and Robert Downey Jr. knocked that out of the park. Everybody did a fantastic job. This is one of my favorite comic films. Iron Man doesn't get a lot of credit at all. I've seen a lot of people probably rank this not in the top 10 and all, but to me, this deserves a top 10 in the MCU. This one was like one of those comic films like we seen with Spider-Man, with X-Men, Blade. This one was just like we can make comic films with that good, with that good humor, the charm humor here. And the movie was just so great with the balance of it, with the seriousness and all that. With Robert Downey Jr. just knocks out of the park. The music score, fantastic. Jon Favreau did a fantastic job directing it. Gwyneth Paltrow, Robert Downey Jr. chemistry was absolutely fantastic film. This film, I love this movie. Please, if you haven't seen Iron Man, and it's been out 11 years. What are you doing? Please check this movie out. Winter Soldier. Now, this is the first time I can say when I heard the Russo brothers, I was like, who are the Russo brothers? And they knocked this out of the park. But one of the things is, I've seen sequels better than the original. But something like this, I didn't see coming. I was just like, what? What is this? I saw things in this movie that just blew me away. Winter Soldier was just absolutely a blast. I loved every second of this movie. The spy espionage, the action scenes, the suspense level, the elevator scene. I've said this about many times before we get started. When Captain America and everybody come in there before we get started. Does anyone want to get out? Oh, I love it. Oh, I love this scene. Oh, it was so great. Absolutely fantastic from start to finish. Winter Soldier is a worth MCU film. One of the sequels that were better than the original. I love this movie to death. It was just, I watched this about 80 times on Blu-ray. It's so fantastic. Please watch this movie if you haven't seen this yet. Number 1. Alan Silvestri's score. Woo! I love this. This first Avenger movie. I know people have Infinity War and Endgame over this, but hey, this is just me and this is my opinion. The first Avenger movie was just so well directed. Joss Whedon did a fantastic job despite the other films he done. But man, the casting, everything was so good about the first Avengers movie. I was just so blown away. When I saw it, and I was in high school, this was like the most anticipated movie in 2012. There's a lot of good films in 2012, but this one I was just so ready for. And I remember in theaters when all the teams got together and Captain America giving orders, And that one scene, spoiler alert, if you haven't seen it, I just got to talk about it. Captain America get everybody's order. But one of the things that we know one character is no one's good for, when Captain America says, Hulk, smash. Ah, like Excelsior. I love that. Ooh, that was the geek out moment in a movie theater. I loved it. It was so good. Everything was great. Tom Hiddleston as Loki was great in Thor film, but him as a villain here, was so fantastic. I loved it. Everything was so good. Comedy, the humor worked, the action was great. Everything. All the Avengers movies were good, the sequels, but we wouldn't have got the sequels if the first one wasn't that good. So think about it. You don't have a good story if you don't have a good beginning. And the first Avengers movie gave us a good beginning, and that's pretty much what I can say about it. It's a good movie. This is one of the movies you should see. This one is to me, is one of the best team-up comic book superhero movies out there. This, if we were to rank top superhero team-up movies, this one is like automatic number one. This will be like number one on my list, or probably number 2 or 3, but this should be like in the top 5. It's absolutely fantastic from start to finish, and that's pretty much all I'm going to say. Let me know in the comment section, like I said in the beginning of the video, let me know where you rank all your 23 MCU films, from your worst to your best. Let me know, where do you rank all the 23 MCU films? We all have the opinions, so there's no right or wrong, like I said. So let me know. I had a blast with ranking videos, and let me know what kind of rank videos you would like to see from TV shows, to movies, to actors or directors, films. Let me know. I love doing rankings. So if you give me some idea of what kind of ranking videos I should do, let me know in the comment section down below. I would love to do them. I love ranking videos. Man, they're so fun, and while I love to know different people's opinions, let me know. And as always, if you like this video, click thumbs up. And if you didn't, click subscribe and the bell button. That's so I can see you next time on Slide the Movie Guy. Peace.